This is FW Spielberg. I'm rocking with the Bully Spittin podcast.
It's the Bully Spittin podcast. I'm live here with one of the legends, FW Spielberg, man. We live in LA. How's it going?
LA, man. It's a big ass city, boy.
For sure.
I learned that on the way here from the airport. I flew in the wrong airport. I flew into Ontario trying to get to LAX. But they took care of me, man. But thank you, man. And that whole legend part, man. That means a lot to me. Appreciate that.
No, for sure. You're definitely a legend in this game.
Thank
and
you.
for those that, may not know or been hiding under a rock, or they just came around within the last year or so or whatever, let them know a little bit about yourself, how you got started, your background.
So, just like everybody else, man, we all started from like dogs, man. Started in the dog game. And, I just want to just take a moment right now just to let everybody know exactly where I started from. I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm a black Native American. I'm Shinnecock Indian and I'm black. And I grew up on a reservation. So to me, the dogs was way different. We had res dogs.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, we started with pit bulls. Now we had that res dog that just kept breeding in the backyard for like fucking 10 years.
37 puppies.
Yeah, 37 puppies.
Yeah.
Litters on the ground. Wintertime, you throw insulation.
Yeah.
Insulation in the doghouse, and they survived, man. So I started a long time ago, man, on the Shinnecock Indian Reservation, man. Grew up there, less fortunate, poor as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
No running water, no electricity sometimes, and then I got like my first pit bull.
For sure.
Long time ago, man. His name was it started with a Rhea. His name was Rhea. And I found that those dogs, man, was probably one of the most loyalist dogs that I could ever fucking have, man. Ever have. And I started with Rhea, with a dog, man. And then time went on, man, and I just really got introduced to the American bullies from a guy named Travis Foreman.
Yeah.
And back in the day, man, Remy line started and the shit was just popping heavy. And I got a chance to see a Remy line dog in person named Cell Block. And he brought him to me. And at that point, I thought I wanted to be a breeder, but I was not built for breeding.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some people think that they built for that shit. I was not built for it.
Yeah. What made you realize that? What was that moment where you were like, nah, this ain't for me?
Because I bred the dogs and I did everything. I started with a Remy line female, bought that, and I contacted Ed Shepherd and I searched and had bully fever and did all of this crazy stuff and was online till 3 o'clock in the morning searching dogs, found Dax, and called up Ed Shepherd, hey, how much is he? And he was like, he's $5,000, I think at the time or something like that. And we did the breeding and stuff like that, man. Had the litter, but it also took me like 3 times to get the litter. So from the beginning of the whole breeding part, man, it was hardship, bro. It was crying in the vet room, learning that my dog didn't take. It was like, I sent this dude $5,000. Is he gonna ever is this dog gonna ever take? Do I get my money back?
Yeah.
So Ed Shepherd put me on game with I was so young and naive in the game that I thought I had to fly out to California to do the breeding, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like,
you didn't even know you could get his shit.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, what are you gonna waste your money for? You don't need to come out here. So anyway, did the breeding when it finally took. And what made me realize that I wasn't built for breeding was the puppies sold and stuff like that. But I did 2 breedings and I was like, these dogs look like shit.
Yeah.
It was 50-50. It was a Gotti line, Dax line to 100% Remy line. And Remy line was not making extremes. They wasn't making pockets. They was making standards and classics. Yeah. And so I took a classic bitch to Dax, and next thing you know, I'm sitting in there with a litter full of Skittles.
Yeah.
But they did come out nice, and I made an ABKC Grand Champion and an ABKC Youngest Champion, Beyonce. Big shout out to Steph Roberson. So I was able to make that shit happen and make it pop off, and it just really happened organically with that. I found out that my first breeding was going to be a nice breeding, and I bred a Remy line dog to a Dax line, and I made some really phenomenal dogs. But as time went on, I just realized that I wasn't any good at breeding because I didn't understand the concept of genes. I didn't understand phenotype and genotype. I didn't understand how to correct flaws. I didn't even know what flaws was.
Yeah.
And the OGs took me under my wing, but I was still young and naive. You know what I'm saying? I didn't listen to them. I did inbreedings that people will never learn about.
Yeah.
And so after a little while, man, I just felt like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to what the people want. People want me to be a promoter. People want me to be an MC.
Yeah.
And so I put all my energy into that. And my wife made it very clear to me. She was like, "You're flying out every other weekend.
Yeah.
I am not a breeder. You're the breeder. So you got to get rid of these dogs in order to go and do that." So I had to make a decision.
For sure.
And balance.
Man, it takes a real authentic person, man, to really realize that, because you have people in this game that that stick around for a long time trying to do this and trying to do that with the breeding.
Yeah.
And really, they're not putting out good dogs.
Right.
And when you're not putting out good dogs, you're really hurting the community.
Yep.
And also, that's a living animal, you know.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, it takes a real authentic person to really realize that, Kyle, there's so many different lanes in this game, in this game for so many different people. A lot of people don't publicly or online speak about FW Spielberg right now in 2022.
Yeah.
But everybody the people who've been around long enough, they know your resume.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you're looked over? Do you feel like a lot of people got you fucked up?
Fuck yeah. I can say that honestly. If you guys don't know who I am, when the first live started coming out, I was the first live in the bully community. And anybody can contest that, but I don't think you want to. The reason why is because in 2014, right around that era, Lives was just coming out. I did it mistakenly, but the first show that I ever brought the live to the community was the PNW, and I went out there for ABKC show, had my selfie stick upside down, and I was able to put the community on live as an MC and all of that. So, in this day and age, maybe people don't realize that, the work that I put in and what I pioneered, but I'm still relevant today. And
sure.
If you don't think I'm relevant today, it's not because you've been misinformed. You just maybe ain't been paying attention, and you might be blinded by some other stuff that's going on. Yeah. But I'm overlooked. I'm overlooked because you know what? I'm not I'm live every single day, man, and my people is loyal to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say why people don't know, but if you over here and you're not over there, then definitely you're gonna be overlooked. But when it comes down to this MCing shit and to the talent and to the promoting and to all of that, I definitely appreciate everybody's status that they're giving me as a legend and a pioneer. But I pioneered the lives, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely made sure that this community was above and beyond informed, and I took the whole lives to a whole nother level. I got the first 100,000 views live, 4 hours, ABKC Nationals, and I got the most lives ever.
Yeah.
The most lives ever. History. 10, I don't know if it's 10 years yet, but maybe 6 years of lives.
That's crazy.
Of lives.
That's crazy. You said 10 years?
Well, see, the 10 years of MCing, but live started in 2014 on Facebook.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And when I started, it was a mistake. I was actually just in the room. Now, if everybody realizes too, podcasts and stuff like that, you never was a visual person on podcasts. You had Blog Talk Radio, and and just like back in the day, they had the Messenger and stuff like that. But when it came down to us covering media and being what we are today, Blog Talk Radio was one of the first platforms that anybody had. And before Blog Talk Radio, I had Remy Life Radio. So if you was a real G and you was really getting it, you locked in and you got your website, and then you hired that streaming service, and you was able to televise and you was able to syndicate your show. So it wasn't no free everything. So another thing too, a lot of people don't realize is you just couldn't hit Facebook Live and hit 40,000 people. You had to syndicate your show. You had to buy a website. You had to hire a streaming service, and you had to pray to God that you had advertised enough for people to hit it and for people to come and follow you and shit. So shout out to the Blog Talk Radio people, Bully the Kid, and all of those other people. But when it came to the live, bro, I was the first to hit that live button.
Yeah,
The first.
that's crazy.